Let's take a look at how humans tasted their first barbecue 65,000 years ago. And how they cultivated beautiful, busty women. One day, a giant sea dragon washed ashore, invading the territory of the primitive people. To stop it, the primitive people worked together to tie the dinosaur's limbs and neck with vines, then tried to nail it to the beach with branches, preparing a sea dragon sashimi for dinner. However, they underestimated the dinosaur's strength. The strangled dragon became furious. The consequences were predictable. The dragon, holding its breath, suddenly exerted its strength. With a head toss, the vine snapped instantly, raising its 400-yard little feet, and swatting down like it was killing a fly. The slower men were instantly flattened. With a roar, the dragon charged towards the crowd. The strong primitive men immediately threw spears, piercing the dinosaur, making it yell in pain. Then, they pulled out the bonfire, trying to drive it away. But unexpectedly, the dinosaur flung the bonfire away, recklessly charging towards the people. In desperation, the men had no choice but to pour their stock of oil and chili sauce on the ground, and when the dinosaur approached, they threw torches, the flames instantly spreading across the dinosaur's body. Under the intense fire, the thick-skinned dinosaur was roasted to perfection, crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. And with the addition of cooking oil and chili sauce, they unexpectedly created a delicious and fragrant roast. And just like that, this group of primitive people invented the first ever spicy and delicious roast dragon meat. Across the sea, there was another group of smarter savages, who not only made high-end equipment from crocodile skin, but also had a tribe full of beautiful, busty women. That's right, after years of effort, they had actually developed a technology for producing beautiful women. Every spring, the chieftain would select the most beautiful woman in the tribe, the one with the largest bust, for sacrifice, because they believed that what you sow, you reap. The same busty woman sacrificed would bring a bountiful harvest and good weather the following year, resulting in more busty women. The girl thought, this is the end. She was about to become a sacrifice. Unexpectedly, however, as the ceremony was about to begin, a sudden gust of fierce wind blew in. The savages, seeing the danger, could only lie down and take cover. But the girl about to be sacrificed was unwilling to accept her fate, and the girl took the opportunity to jump into the sea and escape. After the wind subsided, they realized that the most beautiful girl had disappeared. The furious chieftain immediately took his people to chase after her. They saw a large cave and thought the girl was hiding inside. And the foolish chieftain, without thinking twice, shouldered his spear and charged inside. Unexpectedly, a triceratops suddenly charged out, disturbing the dragon's peaceful slumber. With one kick, it sent the chieftain flying hundreds of meters away. Seeing this, a teammate picked up a small spear and tried to fight the dinosaur. But it was clearly a case of David versus Goliath. The dinosaur kicked the man to the ground, then retreated into the cave to get some rest. But the chieftain, whose backside was badly injured, was still determined, and ordered his teammates to continue attacking. This completely angered the dragon, who charged forward, spear and all, to counterattack. Seeing that they couldn't win, one teammate decided to try a flanking attack, but the dragon saw him. It turned and charged towards the man, who, terrified, could only run for his life. But behind him was a sheer cliff. There was nowhere to go. Just as the dinosaur was about to push him off the cliff, the man dodged. Unable to stop its momentum, the dinosaur fell off the cliff. Meanwhile, after the girl jumped into the sea, she was unexpectedly discovered by a neighboring tribe of primitive people fishing at sea. Bearded Guy thought it was a big fish, but when he hauled in his net, he discovered it was a dried fish. It's unclear how she got there, so he quickly took her back to the tribe. Curious people rushed to see. Bearded Guy took a closer look. Golden hair, and a sun mark on her forehead. A great figure, and a large bust. Oh my god, she wasn't some primitive person. She was the woman of his dreams. So Bearded Guy built a small house next to her, and frequently visited to check on her and bring her delicious food. Furthermore, he gave her his ancestral wolf tooth necklace. The girl then fell in love with Bearded Guy, but this caused strong dissatisfaction among the other women. There were few men to begin with, and now, the tribe's most handsome man, Bearded Guy, was about to be taken by an outsider. So the women united to try and drive the girl back to the sea. Luckily, Bearded Guy returned in time to stop them. Although the women didn't say anything, they were very unhappy inside. It was on this very day, the savage leader, whose backside was in bloom, arrived here with his men. His rivals, upon learning this, immediately informed the savage leader. Mantumii, sensing danger, could only flee into the forest. But the forest wasn't as safe as the sea. Sure enough, after a few steps, a giant lizard, larger than a dinosaur, crawled out. It seemed escape was impossible, so she had no choice but to hide in a nearby carnivorous plant. Although she evaded the lizard, she was poisoned by the carnivorous plant. Noisily, she accidentally stumbled into a dinosaur's nest. By this time, Mantumii was too weak to continue, so she hid inside a broken dinosaur egg, planning to rest for the night and leave tomorrow. Unexpectedly, as she slept soundly the next morning, a Tyrannosaurus Rex mother carrying food returned. The dinosaur looked at the girl who was sleeping soundly, thinking, "What's this? A fleshy thing has been born?" Mantumii was awakened by the sound and immediately urinated in fright, thinking she was doomed. Luckily, the mother dinosaur wasn't very bright, and mistook Mantumii for her own child, pushing the mountain goat in front of her, urging her to eat. And so, Mantumii and the newly hatched baby dinosaur, under the mother dinosaur's care, lived a carefree and happy life. The baby dinosaur also loved Mantumii very much, chasing after her and playing like a cute pet every day. Meanwhile, Husage, in order to find Mantumii, finally arrived here. But then, a pterosaur swooped down from the sky, grabbing him. Husage didn't want to become dinosaur food, so he swung his spear and stabbed wildly at it, tearing its wing, then striking the pterosaur's vital point, and pushing it off the cliff, escaping death. At that moment, he saw Mantumii and the baby dinosaur playing below the cliff, thinking his goddess was in danger, and rushed down to fight the dinosaur. Luckily, Mantumii stopped him and explained everything, and the mother dinosaur not only wouldn't harm her, but also considered her her own child. Thus, with the mother dinosaur's protection, they spent a wonderful night by the sea. The next day, when Husage was taking Mantumii back, the savage leader, whose backside was in bloom, was actually waiting in ambush. Learning that his sacrificial offering had been taken by Husage, he was furious and wanted to use Husage as a replacement. Who knows what he was thinking? If next year he harvests a group of strong men like Husage, wouldn't his position be threatened? But just then, the Tyrannosaurus Rex mother arrived to save the day, but not to save Husage. She directly picked up Mantumii and ran away. Now it's over. Husage was about to be sacrificed to the sea. Perhaps the sea god didn't want strong men. A wave crashed, washing a giant crab, larger than an ox, ashore. Everyone was scared and scattered, and the superstitious savage leader thought the sea god had sent them seafood. Just as he was about to thank the heavens for their gift, a huge wave came and swept him away. In a life-or-death moment, Mantumii acted, untying Husage's ropes, and the two returned to the dinosaur's nest, with the mother dinosaur's protection. From then on, the two lived there, living a happy life.